Shalom, it's the brother Kadash, staying on fire, staying diligent, putting up these videos, doing the work. Let's start off by saying all praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles at Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, honors to all the brothers in this truth. Let me let this video play real quick and then get into some prophecy.
Oh, need to come to the door. From one Houston home to the next. With the Harris County Constable's Office executes judge's orders to evict.
We ain't got nowhere to go.
Israel Rodriguez is the tenant at this apartment, but he's not alone. 20-month-old Israel, his brother, 4-year-old Fabian, and their mother are some of the estimated.
That's spiritual. His name is Israel.
40 million Americans facing eviction in the downward spiral of the COVID economy.
They didn't rush us, but they were like, get everything you need.
Rodriguez admits he hasn't been paying rent, behind thousands of dollars.
It's my fault in the eviction. It was like going out there in the corner. When it hit, I lost my job. So it took me like a month to get another job. This is my check, but I ain't making it with $300. It's literally $300.
Their stroller now carries their possessions.
It's mainly the kids' clothes because me and her wear the same clothes almost every day. Make sure we got, toilet paper and a little bit of snacks for the kids.
What are you gonna do with all of your stuff?
That's trash. They get thrown in the trash because we don't have a car, we don't have help, we don't have nobody that can come, help us out right now. Nobody. We got ourselves, me and the kids and her. That's it.
How does you as law enforcement feel about seeing that family have to go?
Oh, it's a tough situation. I've got 6 kids, 6 children. And, when the kids see the mom and dad in desperate situation, it's tough. That's like
Deputy Gant, an officer for 35 years, is just starting his day. 8 evictions are on his list.
a co-defendant is here, 2 of them.
At each stop, people behind on rent are ordered to leave. Possessions pulled out. Where are you guys gonna go now?
I'm going to go to a hotel.
You can go to a hotel. As Deputy Gant works through his list, we get word that 200 eviction orders have come through the Harris County courts for this week. That's double what they normally saw for an entire month before COVID.
So I'm gonna pause it right there. He said 200 evictions, man, just in that little city and that district. So imagine around the whole U.S., really around the whole world. So things are it's heating up, and the spiritual, his name was Israel. But one thing I want to know is where's all the GoFundMe pages for this brother at? Anytime it's an Edomite that kill an Israelite, all these other Edomites come to defend him, and they start GoFundMe pages to pay for his lawyer fees and stuff like that. Where's the GoFundMe page for that brother at, man? It goes to show you, man, what's going on. This is prophecy, so I'm gonna pull some of it and just go through it. Because what makes a prophet a prophet? Well, a prophet, he prophesies. That's what makes him a prophet, And when his prophecies come true, then that that's from the Lord. The Lord gave him those prophecies. He's a man of the Lord. So 2nd Ezra chapter 15. Let's get kind of to the point. Start at verse 14. Woe to the world. Look, this is woe to the world, man. All destruction, all hell is breaking loose and about to break loose even worse, right? And to them that dwell therein, right? For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people should stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. So we see, a lot of brothers, this Black Lives Matters movement, the other movement that came up with all the military brothers, people standing up with swords in their hand, they rioting. So you got like the police versus the people right now, then you got black militia groups, and then you got white militia groups, stuff like that, standing up against each other with swords in their hands. For there should be sedition amongst men. Is this not sedition? Riots, people losing their houses, losing their jobs, famines, can't pay for food, one evading one another. They should not regard their kings nor their princes. In the course of their actions should stand in their power. A man should desire to go into a city and should not be able to. You got Chicago that be raising the bridges and stuff like that because of the riots. New York, you have to be quarantined. Any city you go into, you have to be quarantined before you go into it. You know, stuff like that, which is eventually going to be everybody has to stay where they at. You can't go into a different city. You know, that's coming, man. For because of their pride, the city should be troubled, the houses should be destroyed, and man should be afraid. You know, so man afraid, they don't know what to do. You know, you get kicked out with your whole family. You know, and you afraid because you don't know what's coming next, or if you're gonna be able to provide for them. A man should have no pity on his neighbor, but should destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of lack of bread for great tribulation. So what do you think's coming next? Like, this is talking about evictions, this video, but what do you think's coming next, right? A man only gonna take so much. Like, you get kicked out on the street with your family, your children, and you can't get no work, you can't get no job, you can't pay for that, you ain't got nobody for you, you ain't got nobody there for you. What do you think they're gonna do next? You know, some man gonna turn to the Lord, you know, and the Lord gonna provide for them. Some man gonna pick up swords and they're not gonna have no pity on their neighbor. They gonna say, man, like, I can't take this no more. I need to feed my children, man. I'm finna go. I found this little lick, what we call them, a lick. You know, I found this little lick and I'm finna go get it. You know, I'm finna run up in their house and take this and take that because I need to provide for my family. You know, that's why it says a man should have no pity on his neighbor and should destroy their house with the sword. So they're gonna pick up guns and they're gonna go rob and steal for it, you know, and spoil their goods. So they're gonna take their goods, you know, and spoil them because they're in need of them. Because what? Because of lack of bread. So there's gonna be a great famine because you get kicked out on the streets. Guess what that mean? I mean, you ain't got no ice box. If you ain't got no refrigerator, no ice box to keep your food in, guess what that mean? 9 times out of 10, you ain't got that much food. So that's a famine. See, so it all plays a part, man. It all plays a part, and these Israelites are going to be the main ones that's going to happen to. That's going to be getting kicked out on the street, man. And the thing is like, you Edomites living comfortable in your suburb homes that you still got and stuff like that, getting loans to pay your bills for the next year and stuff like that, grants and stuff like that. Man, people are gonna start coming to take what you guys got. So you ain't gonna be safe either, man. Verse 20, behold, saith the Lord, I will call together all the kings of earth to reverence me, which are from the rising of the sun, from the south, from the east, Libanos, to turn themselves one against another and repay the things that they have done to them. So, you know, all hell gonna break loose. You're gonna have people against each other, and you're gonna have the kings. So you're gonna have war, different countries and different country leaders going against each other, which we're seeing all this happen. So this is prophecy being fulfilled. That's what makes a prophet a prophet. These prophecies are being fulfilled that we were saying. You got Israelites going through you know, this trouble, this time of trouble, you know. So all those churches that were saying, no, you're going to be beamed up, no, you're not going to have to go through tribulation, they're starting to be found out as false prophets, man, because all these things are happening, and those same people that was in churches, they're going through all this hardship, they haven't been beamed up yet, man. So that go to tell you that was a false prophecy of the rapture happening before tribulation. That was a false prophecy, you know. So you got prophets being revealed and you got false prophets being revealed at the same time. Let's jump to 2nd Esdras chapter 16, starting at verse 18. The beginning of sorrows and great mourning. No, verse 17, because we're talking about the woe, right? Woe is me, woe is me. Who would deliver me in those days? So who gonna deliver you? Like this brother said. He said, we ain't got nobody here for us. Nobody. You know, couldn't nobody help them from getting evicted. You know, they were behind so much on their rent. I got family members that call me and tell me, man, I'm 2-3 months behind on rent. This is a real thing, and it's hitting close to home, man. Verse 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine. Remember, if you ain't got no house, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be hard for you to get food because you ain't got nowhere to store that food up. So you're going to be looking for food every night, you know, and great death. So what's going to happen when you're out there, you don't have no air conditioning, you're old age, or you got disabilities or stuff like that, and you ain't got no air conditioning and it's super hot. You ain't got no food, you ain't got no way to keep your food good. If you do got some food, you ain't got drink, you know, you ain't got a nice bed to lay in, you're laying on concrete or grass or in a tent somewhere. You know, what's going to happen? Well, a lot of people going to give up the ghost, a lot of people going to have death, man. The beginning of wars, which we're seeing, because countries are going to go to war because of this, over the resources, and people are going to go to war against other people over the resources. And the power should stand in fear. right? In the beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils should come? So what should you do? Behold, famine and plague and tribulation in English are sent as scorches for amendment. But for all these things they should not turn from their wickedness, nor be away mindful of their scourges. So even with people losing everything, all hell breaking loose, and just tribulation, people still not gonna turn from their wickedness, man. Some people are, but a lot of people are not. Verse 21, behold, virtues should be so good, cheap upon the earth, that they should think themselves to be in good case. And even then should evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. So you got a lot of people that wants to buy coins, gold, silver. Why? Why are people flocking to buy gold and silver? Well, because it's so cheap right now. It's going down so cheap that you can make so much money and you can buy it for so cheap. So people are saying, look, man, get to buying some gold, get to buying silver, because it's so cheap right now that you're gonna be able to make a great profit off of it. That's the whole point, right? You hold it for a little bit, resell it, make a great profit. So that's what verse 21 is talking about. Behold, virtues should be so good, cheap upon the earth, that they should think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. So while you're thinking you're in good case, some brothers, because I buy silver and I buy gold too. So I buy silver and gold, but I'm not thinking I'm in a good case. You see what I'm saying? I know, like, okay, this is just temporary. It's just something to do, something little to do right now. But you're not thinking, that all hell gonna break loose. But there's people out there that's buying it, like your people that work on Wall Street and stuff. They're buying the silver and gold, man, thinking they're in good case, thinking the economy's gonna bounce back, but all is about to break loose even worse, man. Sword, famine, and confusion. What good is me having gold and silver when there's a famine out here, when all hell break loose and they just come in with the military? You see what I'm saying? They take your gold and your silver. Verse 22, can't take it with you. Verse 22, for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine. It keeps saying famine, man. So a famine's coming behind this, Right now, it's just a famine of finances. But a famine of bread is coming too, man. And the other, that escape hunger, shall the sword destroy. Because if you're escaping hunger, right, 9 times out of 10, you probably got a sword. And you're going around and you're taking people food. That's why you're getting food, right? But eventually it's going to catch up to you. Somebody going to defend themselves, or somebody going to come after you and take what you got, because now you got all the food. So you live by the sword, you die by the sword, which is going to happen to Esau, right? I'm going to stop right there, but the point is, it's like, no, I'll read verse 23. And the dead should be cast out of the dug, and there should be no man to comfort them, for the earth should be wasted, and the cities shall be cast down. So the cities are being wasted, man, and they're being cast down. You got people becoming homeless, more people living on the streets, people aren't living in houses and stuff, they getting evicted and stuff like that, man. And then there's a famine, so these cities are going to be in great trouble, man. What's the point of you evicting everybody, putting everybody on the street, and then the apartment that they was living in is just empty because can't nobody afford it? You know what I mean? Like, the government, you got to step up and say, look, which they did, and say no more evictions for the rest of the year, because it's pointless. You're just going to have people living in tents and living outside. So I'm going to let a little bit of this more play. I'm going to let the rest of it.
200 on Monday. What does that...
Well, that's a lot, yeah.
What does that say to you?
Well, what that means is that they're ready to start having people removed from properties.
It is a backlog, but it's also just one precinct in one of America's hardest hit cities in evictions. The job takes its toll.
I don't really want to put her out here, but I have to, under this judge's order.
At this apartment, the tenant is an elderly woman who can no longer afford the rent. The landlord's mover, Francisco Munoz, works, though he doesn't want to.
I have a family, I have a sister, I have my mom, and we never know. Maybe today is her, tomorrow's me,
Midway through the eviction, Deputy Gant decides it's too dangerous to evict her in the Houston summer heat.
I'm not going to put her out here in this heat.
And will call social services instead.
Wednesday today, but tomorrow you're leaving.
A one-day reprieve with an uncertain tomorrow.
You have a situation where people aren't working, they don't have the money, and they're desperate.
And you see that? He didn't want to put the old lady out in the heat. That goes back into what the scripture says. The beginning of Saul's great mornings, the beginning of famine, and great death. Why did he want to put her in the heat? Because she's old age, man. She ain't got nobody there for her. You just put her out, she could die. It's a great possibility she could die just being out there in that heat. You know, so that's, I mean, we see prophecy being fulfilled right in front of our face. A lot of people could die. Look at this man. He got like 3 kids, his wife. They got put out. They ain't got nowhere to go. They ain't got no car. So anywhere they want to go, they got to walk to the nearest bus station and hope that they got enough money to get on the bus to get somewhere to a shelter or something like that. They ain't got nowhere to go. And then you go to the shelters, all the shelters are filled. So they really ain't got room for nobody. And then you got the so-called coronavirus going around. So now they being extra careful who they let in, and you got to get tested and stuff. And eventually it's going to be, hey, if you want to get into the shelter to get help, you got to prove that you got the vaccine. Then it's going to be, you got to prove that you got the mark of the beast, the implant chip. See, so this is all set up, man. It's all prophecy that's being revealed right in front of us, you know. And it's a sad thing, but this has to happen. This is prophecy. So what makes a prophet, you know? With that, I'm going to say salvation to the elect. Shalom.